Okay, so basically my name's CJ and I'm going to go ahead and apologize for the lighting and volume of this video because I'd already recorded this, but then I went to go edit it just now and I just wasn't happy with it. So I decided I would go ahead and re-record this, and my family's sleeping, so I have to be kind of quiet and they don't really understand this whole YouTube thing anyway. But yeah, you'll probably recognize this shirt from the next video that I post, or like within the next few. It's for next week. I filmed it today, so. But yeah, in case you haven't inferred it from the title of the video, I'm going to be telling you about some weird experiences that I've had. So typically whenever these incidents happen, it's just like little stuff like predicting a phone call or the next song that comes on the radio. And it's not even predicting really, except for in those instances, because like these stories are usually at the same exact time of. So I'm not like, that's so Raven or anything. So the first story takes place about 2 years ago, like the summer before last. I was at the beach with my family and my friend. And I had stayed up all night the previous night just because I was so happy to be at the beach. And so it was about midday. I was taking a nap, as I do quite a bit. And I was just having like this really terrifying dream. Like there were a lot of mirrors involved and just overall like scary stuff. And so I woke up because I thought I heard a scream. And so I raised up and I looked at my friend. I was like, "Did you hear that?" She was like, "No." I was like, "You didn't hear a scream?" She said no. So I was like, what are they watching in there? Because my family was in the living room like watching something on TV. I could hear it like faintly in the distance. So she like raised up and looked over and looks at me and says, "The X Factor." Like she just thought I was being weird. So I was like, okay, I'm just like, I want me to go back to sleep. And so I did, and the dream continued, which is something my dreams never do. And then I woke up again because I heard a scream again, but this time I looked over at my friend and she was standing at the balcony of our beach house. And I was like, "Tell me you heard that one at least." She was like, "No," and just had like really wide eyes. I was like, "What's going on?" And she was like, "Well, it's on the news, but," and she was just being like really hesitant and looking at me like I was insane. And I didn't understand why. And so she was like, "Just come look over here." So I walked over there and there was like an ambulance out in front of my beach house and like a lot of people, which was weird because I was on a private beach where not a lot of people go. And so I was just like, "Well, what's going on?" And she said, "There was a shark attack." I was like, what? How weird is it? Which it could be coincidence. I mean, like bad dreams happen all the time. But the exact same moment that I'm dreaming and hearing these screams that nobody else heard. I even asked my family after all this happened and they were like, "I didn't hear you screaming, you freak." But no, I thought it was like pretty weird, and then I told this story to a few of my friends and they were just like, "Oh my gosh, like you predicted a shark attack." So moving on from that, the second one happened fairly recently. If any of you remember the whole Donald Trump being rushed off stage because of an assassination attempt, it relates to that. And before I get into this story, FBI, please don't come for me. I didn't do anything. I was driving home from my mom's house to get to my dad's, and I remember the same time I left because I left at like 6, and it was like half an hour or 45 minutes or somewhere like that. Like throughout my journey, I looked over and I saw this Trump stand, and you know whenever you're driving, your brain's just all over the place if you're alone. And so this thought popped into my head and I was like, you know, a lot of people really hate Donald Trump. It wouldn't surprise me if he was like assassinated or something. That sounds terrible to actually say out loud. I mean, this channel isn't a channel about politics. We're not going to get into that. I'm not going to talk about my views or anything like that. But I mean, it's just something that like you think about. So it just went out of my head and I continued on about my day, and after I got back home I went out to go see some friends. She was on Daily Mail or something like that, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, did you hear about what happened to Donald Trump today?" And I was like, "What?" She was like reading from the article and she was like, "Donald Trump rushed off stage after assassination attempt," something like that. And I was like, "What time did this happen?" And she was like, and she looked at the like actual article part of it. She was like, 6:45, which I'm just guessing because I don't really remember and I'm too lazy to actually look it up. And I was just like, that's the exact same time that I was thinking about it. and the shark attack thing happened the exact same time that I was dreaming about it. This is weird, and stuff like this has happened before. It just freaked me out. But moving on to the next story, because my battery is flashing and I'm afraid that it's going to die. Yeah, so this one happened. I was asleep, you know, like in most cases I usually am. I dreamed about this boy that I hadn't even seen or thought about in years, because we were good friends like in 4th grade, before then maybe, and I dreamed that we were just talking and we were like the same state we were whenever we were that age. I woke up, I checked my phone as I usually do, and I had a Snapchat from this girl that I hadn't talked to in so long, that used to go to the same school as me and that boy at the time, that like I had moved schools forever ago anyway, and it's been just like years since we've had a full-on conversation. And so she had Snapchatted me and I was like, okay, and so I opened it and it was a picture of me and that boy. So that's just weird on its own. But then a few days later I was on Instagram minding my own business and someone followed me and it was him. And then I checked my Snapchat and he'd added me on there. And it was just so weird. Like, I haven't even like thought about or talked to this person in forever. Like, what are the chances of this girl sending me a picture of me and him from years and years and years ago, the same exact time I had the dream? Like, it's just crazy. I feel like I'm like violently whispering right now. And this is a smaller one, but it just happened the other day. I was sitting in my mom's room with her on her bed and we were just talking about stuff, because like whenever you don't see your parent for a while, I mean, you have a lot to catch up on. And so I was talking to her and all of a sudden, like mid-sentence, I just stopped and like looked and was listening. And she was like, Sierra, what is it? Like, what do you hear? And I just said my like actual name. Yeah, my mom doesn't call me CJ. Facts. So I was just like, hang on. And then like seconds after I said that, the phone rang. Listen, I know that this could be like anything and just pure chance, but like I was hearing the staticky noise. So it was just like really weird, and she was just like, okay. I don't know about you, because I've heard a lot of other people tell me things similar to this, but do you ever dream about things and then they happen? Because it happens to me a lot. Like I described in my lucid dreaming video, I do have very intricate and vivid dreams, and so I don't know, I just feel like if I'm having a bad dream and someone's involved in it, or they look panicked in my dream or something, even if I haven't talked to them in a while, I'll message them when I wake up, and they're always like, actually this insert figurative situation here happened to me. How did you know that I wasn't okay? But my mom and my sister are pretty much the same way. I don't know, like to the like same level of strength, but I do remember like a few years ago my mom was like preaching about how she thinks she's like actually psychic, just because like stuff like this does happen to her. For example, I remember we were at my aunt's house and there was like a huge thunderstorm, and she all of a sudden got up and was like, I have to move my car. Like, you know, just like a really robotic way. And we were just like, okay, weirdo. And so she walked outside, moved her car, and then as she was walking back inside, a tree fell in the same exact place that her car was. And my sister, like, we always have this connection. Like, the other day, we were thinking about someone that, like, we hadn't seen in a really long time. It was, like, this foreign exchange student that we had known, like, when I was, like, 8. And, like, out of nowhere, I remember it was, like, we just got to my friend's house, and so it was pretty late, and I remember I was telling them about it. And she said whenever she went to sleep, she had, like, he was in, like, a dream that she had. And so it was pretty much at the same time. Like, we're just always on this connection and say things, like, at the same time as if we were twins or something. Even though she's 13 years older than me. So in the comments, please let me know if you had any similar experiences or things that are a little out of the ordinary happen to you, because I would love to hear all about it. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, or if you can relate in some way, or if it was just kind of entertaining to learn about how messed up I am. And subscribe to me if you want to see new videos from me in the future, because I would love to make them for you, and I would love it if you watch. But yeah, next video I promise will have way better lighting and sound quality, and maybe better quality content. Who knows? I'll see you in the next video.